Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Stevens. I'm going to talk to you about programmable logic controllers. When the Industrial Revolution hit America in the 18th and 19th centuries, mining, manufacturing, transportation, agriculture, materials and processes, etc., all experienced extraordinary changes in the way they were carried out. All of them had a major factor in common, though, and that was a heavy need of workers or manpower. Today, work in industry is much more complex and requires more than just workers to keep up on supply and demand. This is where the modern innovation comes in with the PLC, or programmable logic controller. Programmable logic controllers aid the world of industry by programming and controlling industrial machinery, making processes automated where less manpower is required. In an effort to explain the importance of a PLC and how it works, I'm going to go over how PLC functions and makes industrial work less complicated and more efficient, and briefly explain how it operates. Okay. A PLC is an electronic device that controls repetitive processes in electronically operated machinery and carries out these processes through step-by-step operation. A PLC uses a control function called ladder logic. In other words, that's how you program the system. And you have to have a computer program to program the PLC to make it work, and I'll show you how that works. This is ladder logic, and this part right here is called a rung. And on the rung is an input, and you have an output. An input can be anything like a button, a switch, a trigger, or a photoresistor, something that triggers a sequence. In other words, this could be a button that starts a conveyor. In this case, the conveyor is our output. And the output can be anything, just like an input could be. It could be a conveyor belt, a light, a timer, a sequencer, something that, controls an automated process. In other words, when you have, whenever I spoke of the early Industrial Revolution, you had men doing all these processes. Well, with this controls a process that would take maybe 20 or 30 men to complete. So all a man would have to do is come up and press this input, and this could be a normally open switch, which it is right now, or normally closed. And on the same rung, there could be a stop switch. In this case, normally open, normally closed. So right like that, a process can be started or operated without having to have a man on constant duty, doing something like making 20 doors for a particular type of car. So all you have to do is start it and then run the conveyor and run, the metals through a process line. And this would be the conveyor running right here. So yes, this is called ladder logic. PLCs can control just about any type of electronic machine that you can think of. They can do a vending machine. They can do, like I spoke of, automated processes. They can control the process in vehicles like an air conditioning unit, things like that. But in this case, a vending machine would work along the lines of your input here would be for either dollars, quarters, etc. And your output would be the button to get the drink out. What types of PLCs are there and how are they integrated into machines? Well, right here. This is an Allen Bradley Slick 500, and you program inputs into it like so. Right here, and this is called a card. It can be removed at any time, and what you do, you just basically like splicing and hooking up wires for just anything. Only these wires are hooked to your inputs, and you put them in here, and this is how the chart is labeled, telling you which input is where and where it's going to go. And these are the outputs. Whenever you put the inputs into this card, they go through the PLC itself, and they come to the output section right here. And like I said, the outputs that are hooked up to this could be lights, a conveyor system, a drink vending machine, an air conditioning unit, a a tank, sensor in a tank telling you how much is occupying the tank, the tank's volume, etc., things like that. Besides this, there are many types of PLCs for many jobs. Yes, this Allen Bradley is more of an industrial-styled machine, hence the size. And in industry, size does matter with a lot of things because you might need 5 or 6 of these in a confined space to run one machine, and that would cause, that would take up a lot of space. So also available, which I don't have to show you, is the MicroLogic series. Particularly the ones I've used are the 1100 series, which come to about that big, but they have, the only disadvantage is they have less inputs and outputs. And as I've showed, each PLC has input and output slots on it to hook up the control parts of the machine, and like I said, examples could be anything you want to control. Okay. Well, in conclusion, programmable logic controllers are a valuable asset in the world of industry, and without these electronic machines, innovation projections in industry would be much more challenging. These adaptable and space-efficient devices allow the largest and most tedious industrial tasks to be accomplished with ease and more time to spare. I'm Patrick Stevens. Thank you very much for your time.